say Wolfgang. People like that name in English. So I'm from Germany. I work for IT Agile as a consultant coach. I'm an AKT in KCP. And I want to show you a little bit about the power of metrics. Why are metrics helpful? Why you should collect data and how metrics help you. It's just an overview. If you want to talk about the math or something about like Weeble Distribution or something, there are other people here in the room like who can help you far better than I do. So, for example, Dan or Frank or Dimitar, I think I saw him somewhere, and maybe Alexei. So yes, the Kanban method and its 6 practices has a couple of practices where like metrics are like implicit included. For example, the visualization of metrics, data, the manage flow, implement feedback loops. Metrics are great feedback loops. And the 6th one, the improve collaboratively and evolve experimentally. The scientific method where we can use metrics to quantify our changes. Also, the Kanban, the 3 agendas of Kanban, especially the last one, the survivability, has metrics included implicitly. So visualization. Yesterday, who heard who was listening to the talk from Ultimate Software? The 2 guys. They had some great visualization. So I'm a little ashamed of mine, but it's still real data from a place I worked, a dating platform, a software team. But if you want to see more visualization, just watch the video of the talk yesterday. So the cumulative flow diagram shows a couple things. And here, for example, you can see the arrival rate, or in every CFD. You can also see the departure rate. You can see where work is piling up, like here, where work is waiting to be analyzed. The product owner in that case was like piling up work and waiting for the devs to be available to talk about the user stories. You can also see when release cycles getting shorter. When we were starting with Kanban, we also decided to introduce continuous live delivery. And some of you may see it already, but in the beginning we had bi-weekly deployments. Later on we had weekly deployments, so we were working our continuous live delivery every time closer to continuous live delivery. And later on we had daily deployments where we just deployed whenever we wanted to do so. So you also see other things like when things are flowing. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close to what flow would look like. You have little steps in it, no plateaus, some, but it already looks pretty okay. This one here is not flow. Do you know what it is? Oh, can you have a guess? Do you have a guess? It's Christmas. There's no flow on Christmas, right? And you can see it better here. This one is Christmas, right? It's in the end of the year. Nobody's working there. What's a good thing? The lead time distribution chart. It's a great way to see where your user stories, like most of your user stories will finish. Now, in this case, we have most user stories finishing between 1 and I think it's like 12 days. And some outliers. We will come back to the lead time distribution chart. You can also like see where the average lead time is, although it's not that helpful. There are better things to do. The next one is the throughput. How many tickets can we finish in a week, per week? So we had a great one here at that time. And here it was like, okay, we had some, I don't know, it is like 5 stories per week, sometimes just 1. But in the average, we had like two tickets per week. this is one thing that helped me because our vice president back then and other vice presidents had the feeling that one team was performing better than the other one. Because here they were like outperforming the other team like hell. They're like, okay, we are just releasing user story after user story. And the other team was like, nah, okay, 1 or 2 stories, maybe even no story per week. But this chart showed me that in average, the bad performing team was even better than the other one. And so I could take these charts to my vice presidents and tell them, okay, this is how it looks. You have this feeling. My data shows something different. So now I had like taking away the pressure from that team because they already were worrying. Why, like, okay, what can we do? It's hard to work in that environment. This is a visualization of the registrations of Lean Kanban Central Europe. So on the left side, you see the registration of the years 2011, 12, 13, and 14. 14 isn't finished. There were more people than that, but we were too lazy, and we were relieved that everything would be okay, so we stopped caring. But what we thought in the beginning were like, oh, wow, this year will be much better than 2014, and 14 was already really good. But then something happened. It just was the same way, like working the same way as 2014. So let's see what happens 2015. But I think it will look closer to this one because we already have registration, although nobody knows what will happen on that on these 2 days. And here the histogram shows that closer to the conference, we get more and more registrations. Plus, people know more and more because from this point on, 3 months before the conference, we started to add the speakers and the topics of the sessions to the website. So people had a lot more information and were registering more often. So visualized metrics let you see things faster. They let you identify a pattern. Remember the bi-weekly release cycle, the weekly cycles or the plateaus. So you can really have a quick look at a chart and see like, okay, what's the problem? And we saw some other examples yesterday at the other talk. Yeah, they give everyone the same picture and the awareness of what is happening. Yesterday there were an awesome example of this, aging chart where you use at the daily stand-up. It's just great. Everybody looks at it and everybody's aware there are stories which are in danger to miss the SLA, right? And like I said before, there are great feedback loops. So manage flow. What is managed flow? Flow is the balance between demand and capability, right? And this is what we want to achieve. We want to achieve flow, and metrics can help us with this. So if you start your Kanban system, or you're already using a Kanban system, you are constantly doing a demand analysis and capability analysis and see like, okay, what is our demand, what is our capability, and metrics can help you with this. Like, what are our risk profiles? Do we have seasonal variancy? How much demand do we have? What is our current lead time? What is the delivery rate, right? So how does it match, how's our delivery rate matching the demand we have? So again, what's our throughput can help us to identify what are we able to deliver, right? If the arrival rate is much higher than our delivery rate, we have a problem, right? The CFD also helps, right? Yeah, it's the same thing. So you can use the throughput, the histogram, or the bar chart, and the CFD too. The other question is, how fast can we deliver? What is our customer expecting from us, and how do we perform? How are we meeting this expectation? And like Troy McGinnis, he's not here this year, but he brought us this great Weeble Distribution chart stuff. And in the beginning, I was thinking like, oh wow, what is this? Like, it's far too I don't know, too much for me. But it's very, very easy, and I will show you a little bit how it works. So what Troy found out is that every or most software development histogram will look like this and follow this Weeble distribution. And depending on what, the kind of work they do, it will have a different shape parameter. It will be smaller or bigger. And so 1.5 is very common. So I took this one. And what you can do with this distribution is that you can calculate different points on this distribution and use them for your forecast or to how you're performing. So we have the mode, like the tickets, the point where most tickets will be finished, the median, the 50% mark, the average, and we can calculate different quantiles on that distribution, 80, 90, 98%, and that's what we are going to do. What you need to do is that this chart here has all types of work, like all work types we had. So we had features, we had bugs, we had expedites, and you need to split these up so you get different histograms for every work type you have. Oops. So this one here is the histogram for the features we delivered. In that case, I had 59 data points and could use the great Excel from Alexei. Is he here in the room? No, he is not. But you can download that Excel from his website, from his blog, and use it to calculate the shape parameter and the scale parameter. And yeah, the average, I think we can do this all with our own calculator. You don't need any Excel for that. And so you punch in the numbers and go to Wikipedia and look for the quantile function from for the Weeble distribution and punch it into your Excel and fill in the numbers into that equation, and then you get this. It will look different in Excel, of course. But so what I calculated is that 80% of all tickets will be finished in around 17 days. So this is something I could tell my product owner and tell her, okay, if you give us a feature in the current environment we're working in, we need up to 17 days per feature. It could be less. In average, we made it in 11 days, but to 80%, and 80% of the cases, we will finish in 17 days. If she wanted to be more certain, we could tell her the numbers for 90% or even 98%. Or every other number you want, like 85, I don't know. But what if we don't have enough data points? Right? Here we just have 8 data points. You just can't use the linear regression. But what Alexei told me, you can just guess. You guess the distribution here, what it will be, and calculate the average of it, and then the visualization of that histogram gives us a little idea of the shape we have. So it could be like 1.25 and 1.5 shape parameter. And here are some examples how this looks. So this one is the one with 0.75, and this is something you probably see at operations teams, like very small tickets, very fast-moving work, or customer care, for example. This here is software development, and this one here is the 1.5, where the shape is a little bit, bigger. So yeah, Alex say, these pictures I just showed you are forecasting cards. And the forecasting cards all have these numbers, and they are in proportion to the average we have. And you can calculate with them the different percentiles. So yeah, thank you, Alex. You can ask him about them, and he will probably give them to you, and you can use them for your forecast. So what we did here is take the 98% because we don't have enough data points. We don't want to, we are not very sure about them. So we take these 3.197 and multiply it with our average of, what was it? 3.88, and get a number. So 98% of our bugs are fixed in 12.4 days. So if we have a bug up to 12 days, you have to wait. You have to wait up to 12 days. So with this, you can create service level expectation as SLEs. You can communicate to your customer. And like at Ultimate Software now, like work to improve it, or make it an SLA and say, so every feature we have, every bug we have should be finished in maximum 17 days, or the bugs in between 3 and 12 days. You can also calculate your project lead time and budget. And this is by using these 4 numbers, or this is what you need for this. You need your project scope, the number of tickets you think you have to finish, the average lead time per ticket, average throughput, and average work in progress. And what you do with this, and by the 3 averages, some of you maybe already know what comes next, you can use Little's law to calculate your project lead time and budget. So to get these numbers I just told you about, you already have to work in the project, right? So this calculation we see here will be for this, like the second leg, the 60% after you finish the first 20 of your project. You can't use it for the whole project, right? So you have to have some experience in your project, know what it is, and do this. So to calculate your project lead time, you need the number of tickets times average lead time divided by the average work in progress. And you get the number, right? So in my example here, 450 tickets, average lead time of 1.2 divided by work in progress of 15, you get 36 weeks. Right. The project budget, or like, if you want to know how many tickets I need to have in work in progress, you just change the equation, and you get this here, and you can calculate how many work in progress you need to have in order to finish your project on time. If you want to finish the project in 36 weeks, or your end date is there, you need 15 tickets in work in progress. So this is what I told you before. These calculations just count for this one here. Yeah, you still have some like black matter in here and here, and you have to be careful with this. So metrics can help you to better understand your demand and capability. You can calculate service level expectations and make them your SLAs, for example, or something you can work for to improve. And they can help you to focus your projects. There's also something, the Monte Carlo simulations. I didn't tell you about them here. But you should read about the Monte Carlo simulations, and maybe also talk to the vendors. Most of them already have them in their software, and they can tell you what you can do with that. So metrics to secure your survival. I told you the 3 agendas, and the last one of them, okay, there are 3 more. It looks funny now, but you can't see the other one because it's gray. This is survivability. So if you have a service, and we have some examples here, HR, marketing, customer care, software development, change management, problem management, doesn't matter which service we are talking about, you always have to question yourself, what's the purpose of this service we provide? And what do customers using this service care about? Yeah, David talked about that yesterday. And what customers care about, make these your fitness criteria. Yeah. This is something David told us, or talked about at, or said that in Munich at the Limited VIP Society. Fitness criteria are metrics that measure things customer value when selecting a service again and again. So if they value it using that service again and again, you should measure it again and again, right? Delivery time, quality, predictability, safety. These are the 4 most common, like David already said yesterday. Make it your core metric you always measure. Right? You can measure all things, but these always. Quality. For quality, for example, you can use this chart here. How many bugs per week do we have? Are we getting better? Is it getting worse? Right? So very simple, just count the number of bugs, put it in a chart, and you see what is happening and create awareness about it. Predictability. Right? Put it in a chart like this. How many times did we deliver in time? How many times did we miss our SLA? Are we getting better? Are we getting worse? Delivery time, 14 days SLA. How many times did we miss that? And how many times, or not miss it, but yeah, how's our delivery time going? Right. Metrics also support changes. Whenever you do a change, try to find a metric that quantifies your changes. Right? Sometimes we change something and we like it, and maybe it's bad, although we like it. On the other side, sometimes we don't feel good with that change, but yeah, we don't know. Some other people feel good with it, and sometimes we just don't know. Right? So metrics can help you to distinguish between positive and negative changes from an objective point of view. You don't use your gut. This doesn't mean you don't have to you shouldn't trust your guts. Sometimes it's good to trust your guts, right? So, but with more data, you lower the risk of doing a wrong change, and you lower the gut feeling probability. Like, you know, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's good, maybe it's not good. So Troy McGinnis at LKC13, at the speaker dinner, said, because, the LKCE forecasts, you saw the charts, Troy did them in the beginning and told us how to do them. So he did a pretty good job, and I think that was the best forecast of attendees we ever had. And that's also the conference. I don't have any T-shirts left because the forecast was so good, and we didn't order as many as normally. So at the speakers dinner, he said, sometimes you just have to roll back with your chair to take a second look from the back and make a good guess how the curve will end up, because you don't know, right? So he took a look at the chart and said, it looks like it will be around 300. It will go up like this. Take that way. And yeah, his gut feeling was good. Though he also said, we do this only until we have enough data to provide a better sample. So at some point, you don't have to do this anymore. Always supports change with measurements. Examples, yeah. Time spent on real quick work, you know, could you do this for me? Quick, please. Rework, how many rework do we have? Number of blockers, time spent on white noise. I have an example for that one. Defect rate, time tickets, the tickets were blocked. Yeah, waiting for external suppliers. Is our supplier meeting the SLA we have with him? Right? Do we need another supplier maybe? I don't know. Or employee satisfaction. How are your employees feel. Are they stressed? Are they feeling awesome? You never know. Customer satisfaction, of course, is something else. And, of course, your fitness criteria. Yeah? If you change something, you always have your fitness criteria plus maybe some other measurements you have, you can think about to quantify that change. So keep it simple, not like that. Right? Try to think simple and keep it simple. And this is what I said about this real quick time spent on like quick work. This is the example. That guy is the Timeeater. I was doing a workshop with a client, and they said, yeah, we have always these people, they're coming to us, and they're, yeah, can you do this quick? Can you do this quick? And we can't do our work. So at some point, we called these time-eating interruptions. And there was one guy, he could draw very well, as you see, because this is his work, Markus Bayer. And so we called these things time eaters. And we agreed that, okay, because we didn't know what kind of work it was, who it was, where it came from, so we couldn't like take this into our demand analysis. So we said, okay, let's collect all these interruptions and write down who it was, what it was, and how much time you have spent on it. And we put that on on their Kanban board, you know, a little box there, and on top of it, that guy was sitting and waiting for tickets and eating the time. So, and we agreed that in 4 weeks, we will take a look at these tickets and see, okay, who is it and how much time, is it worth it, like to take it into account and something, stuff. And they did that. And a week later, 2 weeks later, I saw, okay, the box is filling. After 4 or 6 weeks, I think 4 weeks, when we wanted to analyze that stuff, I came there and the box was empty. I was like, okay, what happened? Why are you not doing this anymore? They said, yeah, we still do, but nobody comes to us anymore. So why? These people had to walk by the board every time they go there and give them some quick work. And at some point, they saw their name under the Timeeater. And we're like, what the hell? Why is my name under this org? And they talked to each other and explained what they are doing and explained why it's a problem that they're interrupting their work. And found a solution by themselves. So I didn't have to do anything. But what we did with this is we took it from the board, off the board. Yeah, you know, it's just gone now. It's not on the board anymore because we don't need it anymore. So if you don't need a metric, get rid of it. Just don't collect it just because you did once in a lifetime, I don't know, a month ago or something. And funny thing about this, I have another client. I show this picture every time I give trainings, and he draw his own Timeeater. It doesn't look that nice at this one. It looks much scarier than this one. If you want to see it, just come up to me, I'll show you. So regularly check your metrics, whether they have become obsolete or not. Right? So quick wrap up. I was talking very fast, I think. Metrics help you to check if your service is fit for purpose. Yeah? Always measure your fitness criteria. Yeah? Know what your service is about. Know what your customer care about. Measure it. Right? They help you to manage your projects. Yeah? Manage your flow. Yeah? What is happening to our, okay, we built our Kanban board, and it works well, but maybe, not maybe, but for sure your environment will change and you have to adapt to that. And metrics can help you to do this, right? Or to see it faster maybe, hopefully. Yeah, and they help you to evaluate your changes. Right? Collect data now. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Right? It's very easy. I don't use any tools but Excel. It's the only tool I ever used. The tools you see outside, they are very helpful, and of course it's very easy to collect data with them, because if you move your ticket, they will calculate the data for you. And you just have to look at the report, press the report button, and they show you the data, right? And lots of it, much more than I showed you here. But if you don't have a tool, that's no problem. Just use Excel and punch in your numbers. It's very, very easy. And if you need more, buy a tool. Right? So, yeah, thank you for listening. Do you have any questions? I was very quick. I'm sorry. So thank you very much. I hope I could help you a little bit and you took something with you.